I'm Lindsay,
I'm Austin.
And I'm Joe from PopXcast.
a podcast member of the Gonna Geek Network.
Just like the show you're listening to now.
The opinions expressed are those of each individual host.
Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com.
And get ready because geekiness begins in
3,
2,
1.
Stand by for a brand new episode of All Things Good and Nerdy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 277 of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast, recorded live on Sunday, September 10th, 2017. And if you're watching live on the video, the first thing that shows up is Naked Bacon Tacos. I think we have a show title right there.
I mean, I would be concerned if you're making bacon naked, just because that shit splatters if you're doing it on top of the stove.
Yeah, that's why you gotta at least wear an apron. That protects the essential bits.
Fuck you, I'm a rebel.
Have you cooked bacon with minimal clothing on? It hurts like hell.
Nude, yeah, I've done it.
He's also covered in a layer of protective fur, so...
That's true.
Exactly.
Did it just burn your hair a little bit?
I mean, Willie's father was a bear, so...
I mean, would you not like to see that and just hear me every now and then going, ah! Ah! Would you not take pleasure in that?
I don't know. Let's
Pleasure's
find out.
Definitely not the word.
Let's find out after the show. We're going to keep the stream going. You go cook some bacon for us.
I mean, I'm going to have the camera on me, so that's on you, buddy.
That's okay. Just keep it waist up. We'll be all right.
I will not be watching.
I'm gonna not stick around for that.
Guys, what are you talking about? This is instant internet ratings.
That's true. That's true.
I don't want ratings that bad.
This is why we fail.
Shock.
I mean, I don't know. I think as a female with slightly more sensitive top bits, I feel like that just means bad things around. But now,
Whoa! Are you saying men don't have sensitive nipples too? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
no, that's not what I said.
Are you being sexist here, Naki? That's what I thought. Keep on going.
No, fuck you.
Check your privilege, Naki.
Oh, Jesus. I thought you said in the pre-show you weren't. Never mind.
I'm sorry. She says more sensitive areas for a woman. Like, I'm sorry. My nipples are very sensitive, too. There's many cases.
So
Listen
before
to
we go down
Jackson
that
Guardians
path
the
of
Galaxy too.
Willie's
His nipples are
sensitive,
very sensitive.
before we go down the path of Willie's sensitive nipples, let's bear in mind that traditionally in traditional gender roles, it is more so for women, I would wager.
Thank you, Chris.
Our nipples, they're just a bundle of nerves, aren't they? For any gender, it's the same amount.
But we're wired a little differently.
Men are allowed to expose their nipples far more often than women. Therefore, you have more exposure.
We're talking about hot bacon grease going on them. I don't think it matters.
In any case, then women also have the breasticles, and some have sensitive breasticles and some don't. But I mean, I'm just saying. Anyways, I bake my bacon in the oven. I've learned my lesson. The end.
Well,
that's what all I was trying to say,
Wait,
Mr. Sexist over there.
Wait, how am I sexist?
Because you're the one who made it sexist.
By calling you sexist. How are you? Is your defense for being called a sexist is call the other person sexist?
Yes.
And that's what's wrong with society today.
I don't know what's going on. My head hurts.
No, but a serious question here. That's how you make bacon every time is you bake in the oven? You never pan fry or
not anymore.
God forbid microwave like some people do, those savages, those Neanderthals.
I like baked bacon.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, but I'm saying to do it every time, though, is my question.
The better question is, do you make candied bacon in the oven sometimes?
I haven't because I'm trying to cut the sugar out of my diet.
That's fair.
But because I make large amounts at one time, because I can go to the store that's around the corner and they have slab bacon for I can get 3 pounds for $9 type
God
thing.
Damn.
And I just bake all of it and eat it throughout the week type thing. So I tend to make large amounts at one time. If it's just 1 or 2 pieces, I'll toss it in a pan. But if it's my usual meal prepping thing, I'll put it in the oven.
That sounds delicious. I want bacon now.
I'm really hungry. God damn it, guys.
So someone else go run the show. I'm gonna go make some bacon, and I'll see you guys in 20 minutes. Bye.
I think my bacon.
I can grab another slice of pizza and eat it in front of you.
God, why do you always have pizza?
Why do you never have pizza?
Because he's a 30-year-old bachelor.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it?
When I was single,
I got pizza sitting on my stove right now.
when I was single, my fridge consisted of pizza, milk, cereal, things like that. Because I could, I'm too lazy to cook tonight. I'm gonna have a bowl of cereal for dinner.
How'd you know? What do you mean? I guess I'll have that. No, you fucking have that bowl of cereal because that sounds delicious.
Sailor Poland, you don't have instant ramen? I do. We went and picked up a 12-pack of that
I can't do
from
it
Aldi.
anymore. I haven't eaten ramen since I was in college, and that's on purpose because I don't need all the sodium in it.
Well, because I make it with only half the packet, and then I add in my own spices so that it's not as salty.
Yeah, I do too. It's called hot sauce.
Well, I put in... I say it's. I know it's supposed to be like cayenne pepper, but I always wind up saying Kanye pepper, and then
Wait, what pepper?
We're gonna get sued now because
I
talked about Kanye pepper. It's true.
But
I'm trying to think of a direction,
not bad.
but I can't.
Well, that's good. So I put in Kanye pepper and parsley and vegetables and stuff like that, so it's not nearly as bad in the sodium. And black pepper.
So you spend more on spices and vegetables than you do on the actual thing of ramen.
Yeah, basically. It's basically just a noodle packet for me.
That's fair. I can dig it.
Now I'm hungry. I'm really hungry now.
I am too.
Dang it. Okay, clearance VG rack. Bring me food.
Yeah, you heard clearance VG rack. Bring her some food. And while he does that, gotta ask, what's going on? What's new, guys?
I'm sick. Which is why I sound terrible over here.
Yay!
Yay!
I got some of my movie props back.
You got movie props?
Yeah, I got some of my movie props back.
Who'd you have to blow to get that?
Nobody. But my ex-wife decided to quit hoarding stuff, and when she moved into her new place, my buddy got me my shoulder pads and the buckler shield from Willow back.
Wait, from the actual movie Willow?
Actual Willow, yes.
I'm guessing it's held by an extra?
It's on the wall in the armory behind Val Kilmer in one of the scenes. And it still has the tag on it from the movie set. But it is a buckler from the set of Willow.
Well, god damn.
I need a clip of Noob going, god damn, that we can play for things like that.
God damn!
I mean,
did you see Noob made it to, was it Dragon Con?
Yes.
Or Gen Con, whichever one it was.
It's
yeah, someone had a full-on Noob sweeping up the convention center. It was awesome.
God damn.
And ironically, he spent a bunch of time sweeping in the convention center. He did not stop. He lived the gimmick. And I was like, damn, that's pretty sweet.
That's commitment.
To be fair, I wasn't sure whose house I was going to rob first, if it was going to be Anthony or Chris, but I think it's going to be Anthony.
I have a Mjolnir. Just keep that in mind.
That's true.
A Mjolnir?
A Mew Mew?
But whoa, hold on a second. I'm not even included in this? That kind of hurts.
Well, I haven't seen what replica stuff you have, whereas I know what they have. You don't keep yours in camera.
This right here is all wood. That's not.
Hey, we're getting spam in the chat.
All wood.
Yeah, we are.
That's a wood print right there. That shit's fucking sexy as shit. But fine, I guess my shit's just not good enough.
I just can't see yours. I can see theirs.
You know what's behind door number 1 and door number 2, but what's behind door number 3 is a mystery. What will you go for?
Actually, you might want to go after Sailor Poland's Vault of Pimps, even though it's not at his house.
Vault of Pimps.
Vault of Pimps.
I don't even know what that means, but
I don't have to travel far to get to that.
So if your shit goes missing, Sailor Poland, you have video evidence right here, right now, or voice evidence, whatever the.
We don't know where the Vault of Pimps are, and I could very well just take this down off the internet. So unless he captures the stream before I take it down, there's no evidence.
Whose side are you on, Chris?
My own, the side of entertainment, for entertainment's sake.
I don't know what that means, but I'll let you have it.
I mean, do you want me to target your house, Willie? Because I can.
Are you at least going to hang out beforehand so you kind of mask that you're taking my shit?
She's going to eat some of your pizza as she takes your shit.
Yeah, basically.
You know what? I got plenty of pizza. I'm a 30-year-old bachelor.
She's gonna leave a slice of pizza on your pillow before she leaves as one last gift.
On my pillow. Well, I draw the line there. No food on the bed.
Well, that's no fun.
Some exes couldn't get that fucking shit through their goddamn head.
Oh.
So obviously we're not talking about kinky
Fighting
purposes.
words.
You're just talking about someone eating in the bed. So
Yeah.
you would eat them out. You would kick them out of bed for eating crackers there. is what
Fucking
you're saying.
crumbs. Oh, crackers. Jesus Christ. Are you trying to ruin my sleep?
But what if you're really sick and you shouldn't get out of bed?
Then you shouldn't be eating then. Not in my bed, at least.
But crackers are supposed to help if you're vomiting. Like it's supposed to, settle your stomach down.
Well, if you're that close to vomiting, why are you not laying in the bathroom floor?
Because the bed is more comfortable.
Have you felt that rug that are in most people's bathrooms? Those things are fucking hella comfy and cool too.
I guess maybe I just haven't had that experience.
I'm sorry, you drank when you were before the 90s was up and you haven't had the experience of praying to the porcelain gods?
Oh, that's a different type of sick though. That's not physically ill. That's just me being an idiot who drinks too much.
But you're still in the same predicament.
It's a different feeling.
The feeling doesn't matter. The location does.
But it does. Because when you're feverish and sick from like physical illness, from like a flu or whatever, you want to be wrapped up constantly, or at least I do. I just want to be surrounded in blankets all of the time. I don't want to be on a cold floor.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. You cannot take blankets anywhere you want.
Well, I don't want to bring my blanket into the bathroom.
You have a washing machine. Bleach kills a lot of shit.
You can't bleach colored blankets.
Bleach color stuff.
Oh, there's color safe bleach.
Why are we talking about this?
Wait. We just got the 30-year-old bachelor to start talking about bleach and laundry. I'm really intrigued how we got down this path.
I just think it's funny that of all the things that Willie isn't offended by, we found the one thing that bugs him, and it's food in bed.
Yes.
So
that is more than it will.
I just want to start sending crackers to his neighbors to hide under his pillows.
I will murder people.
Well, you heard it here first. Willie's going to murder someone that puts crackers in his bed.
That is the worst feeling. Like, oh, I'm so tired. I just want to get in bed. You get under the covers and you spread all out. And you're like, wait, what's these rough things poking my body? Fucking crumbs. Are you goddamn serious?
So when I go to steal your stuff, my goodbye card will be taking a bunch of packets of crackers, crushing them with a rolling pin, and then leaving them on your bed.
And sprinkle them on his toilet seat, too, just because.
Just for funsies.
When this happens, Naki, I will find you.
No.
And I will hurt you.
No, you
very
won't.
much.
No, you won't.
Oh, if you do that.
You don't know my real name. It's fine.
I do.
I mean, I can say it right now. It's Bakanaki.
There
Translate
you go.
that shit, everybody.
Stupid Naki. Y'all figured it out. Good job, guys.
All right, so let's circle back. We had a good comment in the chat room, and I do like to try and hit that, and then we'll get into the news. Mirage Leonardo 84 said, do you feel like there's too much rebooting of stories in comics, too much SJWBS, and too many other people incorporating politics into comics? I mean, there's a Savage Dragon versus Trump comic. Is that really what we need in comics today? So two separate points. Yes, too much rebooting. As for other aspects, it's going to happen because that's what's in the popular vernacular. All the social justice warrior stuff you mentioned, it's going to be in everything because it's in everything.
So it depends on what you mean by social justice warrior. Because I've heard that in positive and I've heard that in negative. To want inclusivity for all races and for all genders, I feel like isn't a bad thing.
And fiction writing quite routinely reflects the world it's created in, like Nick Spencer just did with Hydra Cap.
Yeah, and that was such a bullshit story.
Cap's first issue, he was punching Hitler on the cover while DC Comics had none of their heroes take part in World War II. The different companies attack things different ways. But Eric Larson is the only Image founder to write, draw, and I think ink every issue of his book since Image launched in like 94. Eric Larson gets a pass. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with Savage Dragon. Because also that book hasn't been rebooted. At this point, it's now his son is the main character in the book. but he's been writing that story for like 300 issues and never stopped. Eric Larson is the fucking man.
It's one of the.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say it's just one of those things where comics have always kind of reflected the world that they're in, and the world is changing, like it does regularly, and people are voicing that they want to be represented. I'm one of those people. I'm not shy about it. I want to be represented in media, and you know, it's one of those things where if they reboot it to represent and make sense, I think that is better off. But I don't think, like, you know, with the Ghostbusters, I know people bring up the Ghostbusters movie, like it's not necessary. I know Lord of the Flies recently was talked about being with an all-female cast. Lord of the Flies was written by a man who hated the world. If you ever listen to him talk, he didn't want anything to do with women, and he didn't think that women would have survived on the island. And therefore, he wrote this crazy thing with Lord of the Flies where people didn't survive on the island anyways, even though they were all men.
Boys.
I don't know how that, or boys, but you know, it's one of those things where, you know, women are sitting here like, hey, we're here too. That doesn't necessarily mean I want a Lord of the Flies with women, because that book and movie terrified me as a child, and I reread it recently, and I still hate it. It's not fun by any means.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in the story, would the girls actually survive that well with those murderous boys?
Well, I mean, if it was a mixed gender, not all one gender, I think it would have been a different outcome. There would have been different outcomes either way.
I don't know. Those people want to murder people, kind of outright.
And Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there was a lot of murdering going on in that.
Oh my God, straight up murder.
And that movie, the original movie, I know that they remade it, but the original movie I saw when I was still living in Australia, and Piggy's death frightened me for years.
Poor Piggy.
And
yeah, it was done well in the movie. It was creepy.
It was creepy. That movie is, and you can watch it on YouTube.
All hell the conch.
But Piggy's death is the one that scared me out of everybody's. And I think it's because I relate mostly with Piggy. But
you and me both, sister.
Mm-hmm. So,
I mean,
going back to reboots for a second, reboots are fine if they serve a purpose, but reboots for reboots' sake, like we've seen, which is we need to shake things up to get more people to read. No, that's the problem. And also, these mega events where they come out and promise, we swear this isn't going to be the case. We swear we're not going to retcon anything. Nazi Captain America is real Captain America. He's always been that. Until in issue 10, we basically retcon it and undo pretty much everything that was done by using the Cosmic Cube. Don't get me started on Secret Empire, because it's absolute horse shit that Marvel strung out for way too long. And ruined Captain America in the process of.
And I haven't been quiet for the past, few years that I don't read DC and Marvel anymore. Like, there's literally nothing. I held on to Marvel for longer than I did for DC, but I don't read either anymore because it's just too much to keep up with, and it's just not worth keeping up to me anymore because the books aren't as long, and so I might as well just read it in trade form. But they're jacking up the prices on their trades because they know people are doing that, so they can get a full story. So it's like, no. I'm just not going to read it anymore. I'm going to stick with my IDW. I'm going to, with my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm going to stick with my Image.
I'll still say some of the most fun stuff I'm reading is Boom's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers right now.
Boom is really good. I think Boom has Invader Zim too. I can't remember. Or no, that's IDW, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, they have the stuff that's not the big two has so much out there that is just way more fun to read.
Yeah, see, I have no problem with people saying they don't read the big two, but I will argue to death anybody that tells me there aren't good comics out right now. There is something out there on the shelves at my LCS for every person who likes any type of genre. There is something being published or something on a shelf because there are damn good books and amazing artwork being put out. And yeah, it's not all mainly by Marvel and DC. I'm down to one DC book, and I think I'm down to less than 10 Marvel books, but I get 15 to 20 Image books a month. Like, there are some amazing comics getting put out.
I think the problem, well, we've talked about this a lot, but the problem that DC and Marvel run into is that they just have to stick to this they feel like they need to stick to this, core, right? You got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman in DC, but they don't, and they have to stick with their character origins, but they could be more expressive, or they could introduce new characters. And Marvel, we've got the X-Men that their main changes constantly, but it's been pretty consistent to be Wolverine for the past 10 years, or longer. It didn't come until the movies, but Iron Man now.
Yeah, so I was going to say that he's, as an example, there are times that you look pre-Iron Man 1, and Iron Man's a third-string character in the Avengers. Like, a lot of writers weren't even using him. And, changes can be made. But, yeah, it's all second act. That's the problem. Their origins were done 70 years ago. They're not allowed to end the story, so there's no third act. So you're writing the second act that lasts forever. So whenever a writer's done, they basically have to reset everything to hand it off to the next guy. So, I mean, yeah, everything's going to change. We know it's a lie. It's always been a lie.
Because they
Very
have to
few
keep
things. Yeah, they have to keep certain continuity.
Yeah, but the
Right.
problem is they get into shock jock tendencies now with this stuff. And I'm going to say it again. Secret Empire is one of those. Captain America's a Nazi. He's evil. Oh, now we completely undid it. It's shock jockey. It doesn't come off as genuine.
They also have that problem where they spoil it in the news before it even comes out.
That
Yeah.
shit pisses me
They
off.
did it again, too. And actually, Nick Spencer defended Marvel for doing it, too. And I was like, okay. But then I was like, well, this is a shitty reveal. So, yeah, I guess I'd defend Marvel, too.
Yeah,
So
stuff where USA Today is showing team members of a book that's supposed to come out 6 months after a current event that hasn't finished. Fuck that shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the thing that also, like, fucks us over is that, and I have this problem with TV shows too, where they're like, this person's dead, preview for next week, oh, they're back. It's like,
Depending on the
fuck?
show, I don't watch previews anymore.
My buddy said Hulu did that with Arrow while they were watching an episode of Arrow. They showed a commercial for the next episode of Arrow that showed them that someone either died or was back while they were still like halfway through an episode where that character's life was in peril. I'm like,
Sure,
come
let's
the
go
fuck on now, Hulu.
Right.
Sure, let's go with that. That's the reason why I don't watch Arrow. Sure,
That's
yeah.
why. That's how Hulu encourages you to pay for the commercial-free tier.
yeah,
By
Is by
spoiling
ruining the
it.
show
Yes.
you're watching on Hulu.
Be like,
Yes.
hey guys, we just fucked up your experience on Arrow by showing you a commercial. Give us an extra $2 a month, and we won't fuck your experience up.
but I mean,
do.
and Sailor Poland says it in the chat room, get used to it though. It clearly works, or they wouldn't keep doing it. It's true.
Wait,
But,
what
yeah.
clearly works?
The rebooting thing, it looks like.
Look.
Or I could be,
No,
maybe I missed a comment. I might have
Yeah,
missed a
I'm
comment.
not sure exactly what he's talking about, but yeah, like the number ones, anytime there's a relaunch and number one issues, there's always a sales spike. But the problem is that they've become so reliant on that that's really what's killing Marvel and DC is reboots and relaunches, because that brings in people for the first 1 to 5 issues. And then all those new readers, like 99% of them drop off. And in the meantime, what you're doing is pissing off the 40-year-olds like me that have been buying those books for 40
Yeah,
years.
but they don't care about that because it's just like in the 90s. We're going to about this foil limited edition cover that everyone's going to want to buy, and we'll get a sales spike. And sales are down after a year. Let's put out another foil limited edition gold foil tin print something or other cover. It's just like that.
Sexy.
Man, I miss those chin covers.
Sexy is what they were, buddy. Sexy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
so sensual.
But I mean, the best thing that like, so, and I can't remember what, I think they're under Image. So Saga did the
Saga's
thing
Image.
where Image and IDW, I think both did this, where they released the first issue of the series for $1. Like it was like, 3 months later after all the reprints and everything.
All
And,
the companies are doing it now. They have Image
Oh, are they?
first, Marvel first, DC first.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a spinner rack at my store that's all dollar issues of current running books.
And I think that was kind of smart in the sense that, here's a taste. Maybe this is a story you want to read. And then they did the smart. I know with Saga they did this, where they did their first trade was $5.99. Instead of the $10.99.
The majority of Image trades, the first trade is like 20 to 30% cheaper than the rest of the trades in the series.
First taste
Right.
free.
Yeah, they give you that first one cheaper to get you hooked. Because Image is smart.
It's the smartest thing that they've done because, when I was still working in the comic book store, my way of selling Saga was like, look, get this first trade. You get the first 5 issues. It's cheaper than getting the rest of the trades. I'm going to tell you that now, but you can figure out if you like the story or not for a hell of a lot cheaper than buying each issue. And that's how I sold Saga. Like, that was my big selling point for Saga. And it was, it's obviously been a couple years since I've worked in a comic book store, but I mean, that was one of the smartest things that I have ever seen in comics. If they want to push comic sales, make something that's worth reading, first off. And secondly, make it a way that people want to read it, such as if it's a new story, give them the first trade for a cheaper price so that they're like, oh, okay, this is a story I do want to continue reading.
Yeah, Saga Volume 1 is $9.99, Volume 2 is $14.99.
Yeah, so
and
it's
I
like
think all the
$5
rest of them cover price, are $14.99. So yeah, and they do that on a lot of the books. I think they did that on the first volume of Invincible. I think they did that on the first volume of East to West. A good majority of the Image titles, the first trade is $5 off the rest to get people to try them.
I fully admit I'm way behind in a lot of my stuff because the current tactic I'm using, especially the Walking Dead comic, is wait until the next season of Walking Dead starts because Comixology will do a 99-cent issue sale right before that. So I catch up on the last 6 months of Walking Dead comics by buying them for 99 cents a pop, basically.
Man, Netflix just dropped the show. I watched 6 episodes yesterday, and then I read the new issue. So I'm still month to month on Walking Dead reading current issues, and you're like 5 years in the future still at this point. It's insane, the character they just introduced. Kirkman is not done yet. There's still some crazy shit happening in The Walking Dead. And also this month's issue has Kirkman's not epitaph. His ode to George Romero dying. He writes a big page long piece about Romero's influence on him in The Walking Dead in this month's issue of The Walking Dead. So it was good.
So let's start wrapping this up, but I did want to bring up a point Sailor Poland had said. He goes, doesn't that create a problem with accessibility, though, going back to Naki's point on the cheaper price for first stuff? I mean, every comic is potentially someone's first comic. If you need a trade of the first issues, isn't that a problem? Yes and no. I mean, everything's so serialized anymore, it seems like you do kind of have to come on one of those jumping on points. It's why Marvel made a big point of having their, the Marvel Now initiative 2 or 3 years ago. Like, this is a great jumping on point for everyone. Was it really? Not exactly, but they could sell it that way as a good way.
I think that's a crappy editorial decision and the weakest excuse for not reading a book I've ever read. There were no jumping on points in the 80s. I picked up issue Amazing Spider-Man like 366 and just fucking read it.
Yeah, stories from
I
now aren't quite the same as stories from the 80s, where you've got things that Dan Slott's done, for instance, that takes like 3 years to pay off something he's planted in there. I mean, you're not going to know, and they don't give you those nice little editorial notes like they used to in the 80s. It's like, see back to issue number 176 to see where this came from.
Actually, they do.
I don't see it very often.
Most Marvel books have an intro page to tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
There's this idea that you can't just go grab any book off the shelf and read it is ridiculous. It's like people want their hands held from their hat. I can't read a book unless it's a jumping on point or a
so
number
if you jumped into the middle of Saga, you'd be lost.
Yeah, you'd be lost. And then you could read backwards and keep reading the story and learn about the characters. That's what jumping into a book is about.
As a new reader, I'm going to come in there and be like, I don't know what the hell is going on. And if it doesn't hook me on random issue that I read, it's a tough sell. Now, Sailor Poland's kind of right. Editorial notes nowadays should just say, just Google it, you idiots. I have done that.
Fairness, there's no book you can't read everything on Wikipedia about.
Yeah, I mean, I admit I've done that before. I've gone to Wikipedia to be like, obviously I'm missing something here. Where's the backstory? But
there's also the point of doing the first book for $1 though too, because some people can get hooked on with just that first book.
The first issue of Saga for $1. I bought a couple of them and handed them out to people. It's a really good book.
Yeah. I mean, I did that with Super Dinosaur. I did it with Saga. I did it with, there was a couple other books. The first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when they redid it back in, it was like 4 years ago now, I want to say. But the latest run of Ninja Turtles is amazing, and so I wanted everybody else to read it too because I'm not shy. I fucking love the Ninja Turtles. I've talked many times about my history with them.
I'm still angry at IDW for hurting Donnie.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a cyborg now. He'll live forever.
I don't think that's how that works.
It's not the same.
Shh. Willie, he's gonna live forever. He's
I mean, it is a comic
Donatello.
book, so it could, but that's not how cybernetics works.
But anyways, so
Hey, this was a good topic, though, but I think we do need to kind of segue into the news of the week so we can get out of here a little bit closer on time.
Live from the ATGN studios on the internet. It's the news of the week.
So it's that part of the show that we normally do at the top of the show that we're doing at the halfway part of the show where we run down what we think is the most interesting, or at least in our minds, the coolest nerdy news to come out in the past week. And we've got a variety of different stories this week, as per normal. And I'm just going to say, hey, Willie, why don't you kick things off for us?
I'm sitting down. I can't kick anything.
You can kick from there. You just are doing a seated kick.
I'm
You can't
kicking
kick when you're
is my
seated?
camera shaking enough? I'm
A little
kicking
bit.
the table. Well, a little movie came out this weekend that is pretty much having the best weekend ever, aka the third best opening of the year so far.
Oh, of this year. Wow, that says a lot. Because it's not the worst summer in film history.
It's not the summer anymore, though.
In history?
It's
Yeah,
pretty fucking
I mean,
low.
Fall's not here yet. I mean, technically it is summer, but I digress. Yeah, shut up, you fucking naysayer with this.
They say the shit out of your news.
Whoa.
It came out and it is doing a lot bigger than what they expected it to do. Can you at least agree with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm not talking to you, Chris. I'm talking to you.
I'm sorry. I will stop talking for the rest of this segment. I'm going on mute.
Am I the
gonna
only
say-
one who's watched it?
Yes.
I watched it.
Sailor Poland says in the chat room, he comes every 27 years, and the original miniseries ran in 1990. So here's a movie.
Which was another reason it was awesome. Seth Green and his wife were at the premiere. And she's like, why the fuck am I standing next to Richie Tozier 27 years later at it? Fuck this. Beat, Richie!
That's
I mean,
creepy as shit.
I want to see it. It's not in the budget right now, but I want to see it.
It is well worth the watch. Just for the dick measuring contest they have on the screen. Literally. The kid from
What?
Stranger Things is always talking about how big a dick he has.
The Losers Club has an actual dick measuring contest.
Maybe not literally, but I mean, that kid from Stranger Things is talking about his dick a lot.
Wow.
It is hilarious. No, but they got away with a lot more stuff than they could get away with. I mean, spoiler, obviously, they're never going to put this in the film. What happened in the book? Don't they have some kind of orgy when they were kids?
Pretty much.
Yeah, of course they're not going to put that in the damn movie. But
I'm just kidding. I didn't want that in the movie.
I'm still not hearing anything that makes me want to rush out to go see this movie, Willie. So I don't know what your news story is, other than
I'm
it made
sorry,
more
just-
money than it expected.
That is the news story, you jackass. How are you defending the Dark Tower, but you're absolutely hating this shit? Because
'Cause
the
at
Dark
least
Tower
with
is a
the Dark Tower-
bastardization.
They tried something new. They failed, but at least they tried something new. This is, hey, let's take a movie that was already great, that was extremely scary for something that was done on fucking television,
It wasn't great.
and let's ruin the concept of the main villain, and then throw in a whole bunch of fucking paranormal activity, fucking Japanese horror film, crappy editing techniques to make shit look weird.
That's not what they do at all. You're talking like you've seen the movie and you haven't.
I've seen the trailer. I've seen enough. I don't need to see the movie. The entire conceit of the clown that it sends out is that it's designed to entice children. Pennywise the clown is supposed to look like a fun clown that kids will get close to, and then he bites their fucking arms off. Nobody, no child in the world would get within a city block of the clown they designed for this movie. He looks creepy as shit before he does anything. Therefore, no kid would get near him. Therefore, it doesn't work.
But you're thinking of today's kids. Today's kids don't like fucking clowns. This is back in the 80s.
Oh, so the movie also takes place in the fantastical era of the 80s. So they're just trying to really jump on the Stranger Things fucking bandwagon instead of doing something. So it's not just that they remade it as Stranger Things. That's what you're saying?
No.
With the kid from Stranger Things?
I mean, I don't know if this is even a spoiler. I don't even know if I should say it. I don't know. Does anyone care?
I mean, I want to see it eventually, but I've already read the book and I saw the original, so I mean, but at the same time, it's also the same weekend it came out. So I would wait just because people still want to see it and it hasn't been, we're not past the weekend.
Yeah. We might have people that are watching that haven't actually read the book or seen the original. I don't know who these people are, but they might exist.
Skip the original, watch this version. That's what I'm telling you right now. The original is not great. I don't know what you're thinking there.
Tim Curry is fucking fantastic in the original. It
was
amazing.
He is. But you got to watch the rest of it too. I mean, it's not just a one-man show.
No, it pretty much was a one-man show. The rest of the actors were just along for the ride.
Seth Green, fuck you.
I like Seth Green.
Exactly. Bachman hates him.
I did not say that.
I'm putting words in your mouth.
Yeah, that's not going to fly. Just because you can't defend it. I mean, don't get mad at me.
Go watch it. See for yourself. You come up with the decision.
I don't know. I watched Baywatch. You said that was good.
Baywatch was good. Have you watched it yet?
Yeah, I watched it, and I'm angry. I want my time back.
That's on you. You hate a lot of shit.
No. You can't hate that movie because of two reasons. The Rock and Alexandra Daddario, who's smoking hot.
Oh, no, there's a whole lot of TNA, but for an R-rated Baywatch, there should have been a little more TNA. It was
that's
just
what you wanted. You just wanted boobs going everywhere. They just went... That's not
Can
why
we all
the movie was
agree?
R.
It was just a stupid movie. If I was drunk, that would have been funny. If I was high, that would have been funny. Sober, that was not a funny movie.
It's just a dumb
I was
comedy.
sober.
The problem is there's no good comedies nowadays.
That was I laughed a lot during that movie. Especially
laughed
the balls talking.
once.
That was hilarious.
I'm allowed to talk now because we're not talking about it anymore.
you got Zac Efron playing with the balls and dick. That's hilarious.
You can only go so far with dick and fart jokes, I think.
We say 277 episodes into a podcast centered around dick and fart jokes.
I'm sorry. Can you hit that button, Chris, where Naki goes dicks, dicks, dicks?
No, we're not going to do that today.
Fair enough, but it exists. It exists. Can we all just agree that Bachman just hates a lot of shit?
Damn it, Chris.
Can we just all agree that Bachman just hates a lot of shit?
A lot of bad shit.
Bachman and I disagree on things. Willie and I disagree on things. Chris and I disagree on things. There we go. We did it. All right. Moving on.
Moving on to the next one. Back to you, Chris.
Back to me. All right. So, Naki, why don't you go next for us? Because we just talked about South Park in the chat room. So this is a nice segue.
There we go.
So my news of the week is I thought this was very on par for South Park for Stone and Parker. If you change, Fractured Butthole comes out October 17th, I want to say.
Either that or the 27th. I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that. And some people are already playing it online, famous streamers, whatever. But they have discovered that if you change the color of your character's skin, it changes the difficulty for you. Cartman does comment, don't worry, this doesn't affect the just every other aspect in your whole life. So the darker your skin, the harder the difficulty is. Later on in the game, if you get to choose if you want to be male, female, or other. If you remember in Stick of Truth, you were automatically a boy. And Mr. Mackey ums and ahs before calling your parents and asking, is this actually true? And then if you had checked a non-male character, so female or other, so he'll say, so the whole King and Stick of Truth thing, she was actually a girl the entire time. And then Mr. Mackey will ask to clarify by what you mean by being a girl. If you pick transgender, it still tracks with Stick of Truth. Yes, it does. She was definitely a girl the whole time. Yes, of course, I get it. but that's a thing that they did add into the game, which I thought was very on par for them, and I thought was great. So, I mean, I don't know how big a South Park fans you guys are. I really enjoy their other stuff other than South Park, such as Cannibal the Musical, Basketball,
Book of Mormon.
Oh, I love
Book of Mormon.
basketball.
Steve Perry.
You know, it's just great. It's great. So I know that people are getting offended by it. With Stone and Parker, they're known for this sort of thing. They've been doing it for longer than South Park has been around.
I was gonna say, isn't that the point?
And that's exactly the point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Matt Stone, Trey Parker could both wear the T-shirt that I want that just says "You're offended." Good, fuck you.
I mean that they literally wrote the book on how to offend people, but also be politically correct at the same time.
They are equal opportunity offenders. That's right. They go after everybody. That is crazy that they literally made it to where the game's easier for white people. That's wow.
Commentary on society today.
It is. There's your
Yeah,
commentary.
And
That
a
is
game
exactly
called
what
Fractured Butthole.
The real interesting thing for them is going to be seeing, because I think Wednesday the new season of South Park starts, is how they write themselves out of the corner they did, which was they basically made Mr. Garrison Donald Trump last season, expecting that, oh, when the season ends, the election will happen, we'll get him back as Mr. Garrison. Now they got to figure out what they're going to do because they've lost Mr. Garrison.
But I mean, they write that show like in a week, right?
Exactly. They were asking about this.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure it out next week.
I'm sure they think of ideas beforehand.
Well, I'm sure that they have like a base storyline, but it's actually not written until the week of, so that they can.
They talked about it on Nerdist, where I can't remember who it was that was on the last episode. I think it was Trey Parker, and he said, "Yeah, they've completely rewritten a show on a Wednesday and had it ready on Sunday. Like they do that stuff the week of, which is insane."
There was a documentary that was on Netflix at one point in time, but I think it moved to wherever South Park is now, which is the process of how they make an episode of South Park in a week.
I believe it was called 7 Days to Air.
Something like that. I think that's right. But they said there's only been one time they've missed that 7-day deadline. That's because not that they weren't done, but they were having satellite issues, so they couldn't upload the finished copy of the episode to Comedy Central.
Yeah,
That's
those two
impressive.
are insanely talented.
It's on Hulu now, by the way.
It's on Hulu. I couldn't remember. It used to be you could watch it on their website for free, and then I thought they went to somewhere, and I don't know.
Speaking of Hulu, and just something I find hilarious, so the Netflix Death Note movie came out. Death Note, the original anime, is not on Netflix. It's on Hulu. Thought it was great. Anyways, continue. Because that's how bad the Death Note movie is, that they didn't even want to put
It
that.
wasn't that bad.
One of the
Like,
comic
really?
writers I follow on Twitter this morning was complaining that apparently Netflix now has Matrix 2 and 3, but not Matrix 1. And he asked
Matrix
why.
1 is on Hulu.
And I said, to punish you.
Matrix 1 is on Hulu. Just
That's
letting
funny.
you know.
I don't know.
Or it's on Amazon. I can't remember. It's on either Hulu or Amazon.
I go to Netflix to get caught up on my Marvel TV shows and to watch comedy specials lately. That's been about it. And occasionally some documentaries, because they've had some good documentaries.
They've had some great docs.
They have occasionally their original movies are really good too. They had one called Valentine's Day with the guy from Better Call Saul. I can't think of his name. Bob Odenkirk.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
And that fucking movie was amazingly dark and funny, and was like, Keith and I were completely surprised just watching it, like, oh dang, this was really good.
If you get the chance, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Watch Michael Bolton's special on that's it. Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day special on Netflix. It's absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
No, it's Michael Bolton.
That's the humor
You're
behind it.
missing
So
out.
basically,
Yeah.
guys, if you weren't aware, the conceit behind it is,
He's funny.
I'm just reading from the website here. After Santa tells him he needs 75,000 new babies by Christmas to meet toy supply, Michael Bolton hosts a telethon to inspire the world to make love. And
Yes,
it's,
because that's what the world needs is more people in this fucking place.
Willie, they're not serious. It's a
I know.
comedy. It's by the guy. It's by some of the guys from Lonely Island. So it's pretty damn funny. Go check it out for yourself. I watched it and I was like, "The hell did I just watch?" And I was like, "But it's damn funny, so I'm okay
I
with
do-
it."
That dude has a great sense of humor. I mean, he did the Jack Sparrow song
The
with
Jack Sparrow
Like-
song's fantastic.
It was amazing. He dressed up as Jack Sparrow and sang his Michael Bolton ass off.
It was pretty good. So I'll go next with my news story. You guys might not have heard because it's just a small little news story that came out this week that Lucasfilm just fired another director, and this time it's Colin Trevorrow, the director for Star Wars Episode 9, has been fired. So
How far into production were they with that, though?
not at all at this point in time, I don't think. So it's not
they can
as big a
recover.
deal. When you go to articles like Vulture and The Hollywood Reporter, it basically comes down to the consequence of him being difficult on set. Basically, if the way a lot of people are reading it is that Lucasfilm and Disney say, we want it this way, and this is a guy that pushed and kicked enough to try and change things that eventually it wasn't worth the headache of keeping him around. And honestly, I'm not super broken up about this director moving on because Jurassic World was okay, but I haven't really seen much else that I was like, oh my God, this is going to be great.
Well,
That's just
I
me.
don't get, because apparently the Han Solo thing was those two directors like to do a lot of improv, or they basically signed up to do Han Solo and said they wouldn't do that and then did it on set anyways. Do these people not realize that under the Star Wars Kathleen Kennedy machine, you're either going to do as you're told or you're fucking gone?
Evidently not. Well, the Han Solo movie has some other issues besides that. One of which seems to be the fact the guy they cast as Han Solo, not really very good in the role if you start believing what the insiders are saying. So I'm not sure if Ron Howard can save that.
Ron Howard, save us!
Come on, Opie.
Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, so a lot of people are here going, oh, Star Wars lost another director. This is a huge story. I don't know that it is because it's just a movie machine now.
Yeah.
Star Wars. Nah.
Actually, if they're going to get someone to direct it, the next one, I say they give Ryan Johnson Episode 9 also, because by all accounts, he did an awesome job on Episode 8. They have raved about how well he did, the actors, the studio, things like that. And hearing him tell the tales of directing Episode 8 on Twitter have been fantastic. In fact, someone had asked him about a month ago, would you do another Star Wars movie on Twitter? And he'd said, oh, I would do it in a heartbeat. It's been the time of my life, or something to that effect. So, yeah. If Episode 8 is as good as it's sounding like it could be, bring back Ryan Johnson for Episode 9. I think it'd be awesome. It's the same thing as bringing Whedon back for Avengers 2, but hopefully with better returns.
Clearance VG Rag says that they hired an acting coach for the dude who
Yes,
plays Han Solo.
That is the rumor I'd heard as well. And Sailor Poland's right. So many directors are replaced in pre-production, it's not even news. Although I do like his idea. Sam Raimi directing a Star Wars movie. That could be fun.
Just as long as they don't allow him to do a dance sequence. That's all I'm asking.
That wasn't his fault. I still maintain that last movie was not his fault.
I'm actually
And I
saying they
still
should
maintain-
put up a dancing sequence in it.
I still maintain the dance sequence was his fuck you to Sony.
Probably. Probably.
I love Sam Raimi though. The guy he's super talented. I would watch a Sam Raimi Star Wars film.
I think I would watch that.
That'd be interesting.
SP says in the chat room a Ben Affleck Star Wars film.
I don't know.
I'd watch it.
I would probably watch it, but I don't think it would have to be one of the core stories. I think if you gave him one of the anthology tales, that could be awesome.
ASP, Argo, fuck yourself.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Wow.
Wow. That was
Wow.
uncalled
That
for.
was painful.
Come on, it would be awesome if he did an Argo type Star Wars movie.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That was
Oh,
it was a smuggling film. It was a film about smuggling people out of a fucking dangerous situation. That would be awesome.
All I heard was "go fuck yourself."
Oh no, I said Argo, fuck yourself.
I heard
Which is
Argo. Fuck.
Catchphrase from Argo.
See, I never saw Argo, so that just made me go,
Oh.
"Why are you
Yeah,
telling
I
him
was
to
like,
go
what
fuck
the hell,
himself?"
man?
Sorry, no, it wasn't fuck. It was Argo, fuck yourself. Yeah, the what's his name?
I got it.
Not Affleck, but the other actor, the great older guy, that was in the movie with him. I can't think of his name. He's fucking fantastic. But yeah, he's the director of the film, and he keeps telling people to Argo fuck themselves, and it's hilarious.
Got you. That makes more sense then.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be funny. If I cut out, I apologize.
Low Life Otaku says, "Fuck it, a Tarantino Star Wars film."
Oh, that'd be they've never had that much blood in a Star
That
Wars
would be
film.
so bloody.
If you do it as an anthology film, it would make sense. They've made a point of saying they want these anthology films to have a slightly different flavor than Star Wars. It hasn't really worked out that way yet, but
How could it be so
Alan
bloody,
Arkin.
though?
Alan Arkin. They could do it on a planet with lizards or whatever and make it all green blood, and then they can get away with it. If it's
But how can
aliens,
it can't be bloody though.
depends
If
on
you
what's rated.
cut somebody with a lightsaber, doesn't it cauterize as soon as it goes through?
who said it's a lightsaber? Who said it had to be a lightsaber?
Along with the fucking laser blast guns. Pew pew.
Doesn't mean there's not a world where people aren't still using sticks and knives.
That's true. SP says he would not watch a Tarantino Star Wars film.
Thank you.
I don't think it's a good idea, but I think it'd be fun if they did it as one of the anthology flicks.
SP's with Bachman. They wouldn't watch a lot of shit.
Yeah, they're not, as much as they made a point of saying we want the anthology movies to have a different flavor, to have like the individual directors kind of flair filter through. It doesn't seem like that's the case right now. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be wrong after Star Wars. Maybe it'll have a real good Ron Howard feel to it. And a little bit of Lord Miller.
Since those directors have all been fired so far with their flavor and feel.
Well, the director for Rogue One didn't get fired. There were just extensive reshoots done on his movie.
Who would?
But in all fairness, he didn't think they would let him kill everybody at the beginning, and so he had people live, and then he changed it to kill everybody, which is impressive.
SP's not going to watch the Orville tonight, he said on there. Huh, I'm going to watch the hell out of that.
I forgot it was a thing.
So if Tarantino did a Star Wars movie, who would he cast himself as? Because he's in every single one of his movies.
Master Yoda.
What would he cast? Oh, who would he cast?
I don't know.
God, can you imagine him as a Yoda?
No, Tarantino would be 1/4 portion.
I would just rather see Spaceballs 2, to be honest. But
Oh wait, he's bringing back Samuel L. Jackson. Okay.
That's true. And Sam has said you never saw the body.
why don't they just do the stories of Mace Windu, directed by Quentin Tarantino?
There you go.
Does Yoda
Shatterpoint-
look like a bitch?
Shatterpoint was a great novel, and it's all about Mace Windu.
Well, see, I disagree with something SP's saying about the Orville, saying Fox will cancel it by 2018. It's done by Seth MacFarlane. They have to keep him happy because he does like 4 bajillion shows on that network.
I was gonna
That's
say
true.
he's
It's
all
true.
over.
Isn't he the only thing other than Simpsons making them money?
I don't
No,
know.
Bob's Burgers.
American Dad went to TBS now and is making them money.
Bob's Burgers is still on Fox,
wow.
and Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That's a Fox show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that show's great. I finally am all caught up on it.
I'm not.
I'm more excited about the Orville than I am of Star Trek. Let's put it that way, just based off what I'm seeing in the chat room. I wanted to chime that fact in. But let's wrap up with our last news story. What you got for us, Bachman?
This was a movie that I had heard about at the beginning of the year and completely forgot about, which was awesome because when Stephen King sent out his tweet yesterday, I was completely I guess it was Friday. I was completely unaware, and the trailer was attached to it, which was awesome. He put Netflix later this month. Don't watch it alone. I'm serious. And they released the trailer for Gerald's Game. So for anybody who doesn't know, Gerald's Game is the first book where critics accuse Stephen King of having his wife write the story for him because the majority of the novel takes place inside of the lead female character's head. It's all a woman thinking, basically, for the majority of the story. And it's fucking fantastic. It's one of the creepiest things he's ever written. It's another one of those ones where it's a real life situation that takes an awful turn. And like the really good Stephen King stories, it's ones where it's just even if there is supernatural something there, you're not sure if it's real or not, and it's just a person dealing with a bad situation, which is are some of his best stories. And bonus points, Carla Gugino has been cast as Jesse Burlingham, who gets to play Gerald's Game. And so it's Carla Gugino handcuffed to a bed for the majority of a film, trying to not die from like starvation and dehydration. It looks freaking creepy. The trailer is awesome. And she's just such a badass actress that when they announced her as the lead in Gerald's Game, I was super excited. And the other cool thing is that, I mean, she's been around forever. If people don't know who she is, like she ended up being on the last couple seasons of Falcon Crest in the 90s. Like, she's been acting for like 40 years, and most people my age know her as the mom in the Spy Kids movies. She was also in Night at the Museum, Sin City. She was the original Sally Jupiter Silk Spectre in The Watchmen.
I was going to say she was in The
Who's she in
Watchmen.
Sin City?
Yeah. She was the lesbian lawyer that gets her arm chopped off.
Oh god!
And she was the Rock's wife in San Andreas. It's like she's been in a ton of stuff. She has 97 acting credits as an actress. Just fantastic. And this is one of those things where it had to be a very serious discussion to take this role, because literally it's going to be like an opening sequence, and like basically they get to a cabin in the trailer, they show it, and then she's stuck on the bed for the rest of the film pretty much by herself. So this is kind of it's almost a one-man show. So this is like Sam Rockwell in Moon. When she went into this, she had to know that this would be a hell of an acting experience, because she's going to carry like 95% of the film in a situation where she can't even really move. So you have the restriction of your body can't move. You're by yourself for the majority of the film. Like, I'm super excited to see this, because Carla Gugino, besides being a gorgeous woman, is a hell of a good actress. And this is going to be just an awesome thing to see her basically carry an entire movie all by herself.
But you're also listening to Stephen King tell you it's going to scare you. And the last time he said he was going to scare the hell out of me, I watched Maximum Overdrive.
He never said that was a scary one.
In the trailer, he goes, "This movie's going to scare the hell out of you."
Well, also in that movie, he's the one that checks the ATM and says, "Honey, this ATM just called me an asshole." Yeah, Stephen King's idea of what's scary in his films is a little different. Plus, I think he always hypes whatever movie's about to come out. He hopes they're going to be good, because after things like Children of the Corn and his fights
Which
with
one?
Yeah, well, he was only even slightly involved in the first one, and then he actually sued that company to take his name off of them. But I mean, yeah, he's had a lot of problem with his films over the years. But yeah, this is one, because yeah, it's funny, because I think after Gerald's Game, he wrote Dolores Claiborne and Rose Madder just to prove his critics wrong. Because people forget that his first big book was Carrie. His first book was told from the point of view of a teenage girl. Like, he can write females really well.
When was Misery written?
Misery was late 80s.
So
Yeah,
Misery, the movie, scared the shit out of me as a child.
Oh yeah, and it's not even as creepy as the book. But also that one he's telling that story from the point of view of Paul Sheldon, so you're in the head of a male writer.
True.
But yeah, he still created Annie Wilkes, and that is a goddamn terrifying woman character. He writes really good women. And yeah, Gerald's Game was the one where literally critics accused him of having Tabitha King, who is also a novelist. They accused him of having her write the book and putting his name on it to say that, just so that she could make some more money, which was some of the most ridiculous bullshit I've ever heard. But then, yeah, he followed it up with like 3 more books with female protagonists just to kind of give all those critics a big fuck you. Stephen King can write really well written, fully developed female characters. He's just, he's a hell of a writer. Yeah, I'm excited. Gerald's Game it's going to be one. Yeah, it's a super creepy story for people who haven't read it. And I mean, it is basically, it's almost going to be a torture scene for like an hour. Because it's a woman handcuffed to a bed who can't escape, and there's no help of rescue. And it's a fucked up situation that she gets put in and has to try to basically save her own life. And it looks terrifying. I'm excited because this looks fucking great.
And when does it come out?
It is the end of this month.
I was going to say, I think it's end of September.
I want to say the
29th. But yeah, and it's direct to Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix has got everything anymore. It's that simple.
They got a lot of it.
A lot of it. So guys, as we start to wrap things up, it's that part of the show where we like to remind you that the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast is in fact part of a network of shows that you can find over at GonnaGeek.com. We've got 20 plus shows. I don't know what the exact count is, but I know it's more than 20 right now, covering a variety of nerdy topics. Some things that are specific, like, I don't know, a specific TV show you might like Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Some of it's general geek culture. Some of it's just cool geeky moments. But each week, we try to highlight one specific show on the network, and I got to toss it to my good friend Willie Nelson and say, Willie, what show are we talking about this week?
Good friend?
Okay, then I'm going to toss it to that asshole, Willie Nelson, and say, hey, what show are we talking about this week?
I was going to say I felt special that you said that.
Oh, well, then I
I'm
retract
glad he
my
fixed
comment
it.
because I thought you were making fun of me and I felt bad.
Are you retracting the retract?
I'm retracting the asshole comment, but not the good friend comment. How's that work?
He's retconning the retcon.
Yes, I'm like J.J. Abrams in this bitch. I retcon the retcons.
This week, I'm going to be talking about Digital Soup Podcast, episode 37, Frankenstein. At least that's how I'm pronouncing it. It's an episode filled with tangents and wide-ranging topics, from Crash Plan and Backblaze backup news to more games taking advantage of mobile AR tech, including The Walking Dead and Star Wars. Plus, usually Dave spills the beans on the No Peak 365 photography challenge he is taking part in. And what the heck is all this buttfumes.com talk? Back to you, Chris.
I don't even know what buttfumes.com is right now. I haven't listened to this episode yet. But with a teaser like that, I kind of want to know what buttfumes.com is, but I don't want to enter it first.
Give me a
the
second.
Address bar and be surprised.
Buttfumes.
Yeah, I'm not putting that in my history.
I'm doing it.
If you go to buttsex.info, that'll take you to Ninja Sex Party.
How did you
Nice.
find that out, Naki?
Because they tweeted about it.
Sure.
Because she's a big fan.
Well, should
And
I
also,
spoil it?
I'm
What
a
it
huge
takes you
fan
to?
of Ninja Sex Party.
What does it take us to, Willie?
The Digital Soup website.
Ah, nice. I like it. So
I did start listening to them. I think I'm 5 episodes in.
So make sure
I
you
like
go.
it so far.
Make sure you go check out the Digital Soup podcast in addition to a variety of other shows. over
Man,
at
they have a really nice
geekgeek.com.
website. Do we have a really nice website like this?
No.
This is
Sorry,
really
I got
fancy.
distracted because Sailor Poland said, hey, Willie, try tubgirl.com.
Oh, you
Uh-oh.
cannot spoil this. Why don't you go to meatspin.com, Sailor Poland?
You guys can Google Blue Waffle.
No, we're not going to do any of those things.
Or, hey, let's all have a good time and go to lemonparty.org.
I still have never done that. I don't actually know what it is, and I'm too
Oh,
afraid
go
at
to it. It's
this
not
point.
that bad.
Hey,
It's
why don't
not.
we
afraid
guys
to at
have?
this
Why don't
point.
we all have a good time and start to do our final bit called "What I'm Into"? That part of the show where we share just what kind of geeky and nerdy things we've been getting into, so that maybe, just maybe, those of you listening live, watching live, or at a later date can check them out for yourselves. What do you think about that?
I think that's a good time.
I think it is too. So, Willie, what you been getting into, sir?
I've been golfing a hell of a lot when everybody's golfing. It is so much fun. So relaxing. But fuck the computer. It can really fuck you up sometimes.
Oh, you're talking like computer golf or real golf? I'm
Yeah,
confused.
I spoke about it last week that you didn't pay attention to either.
Evidently not.
Everybody's golf is pretty much they retitled Hot Shots Golf. It was the Sony's golf game. It was called Everybody's Golf everywhere else in the world except for here. So they just finally retitled it where it's called everywhere else. Although I do like Hot Shots Golf is a better title personally. But yes, very fun. What else have I been? I've been doing a lot of nothing. I mean, can you really blame me? Been watching some movies. I still need to watch The Wizard of Oz in 3D on the VR.
Well, I have heard that the Star Trek Bridge Commander game for VR is on sale this week, so you should pick that up and let me know if it's any
I
good.
mean, I've already had it since it came out, but I haven't really played it. I think I tried once and then I ran out of time and then I haven't really gone back to it. I guess I've got something to do today.
You got something to do. We need to know if it's any good or not. If I should buy a PS4 to play Star Trek Bridge Commander.
Yes.
Hey, I'm buying an Xbox for Anthem. You got to get a PS4.
I already have a Switch. Why do I need a PS4 also?
Because none of us are playing on the Switch with you.
Wait. Whoa, stop. That's not an argument. I already have a Switch. That's not an argument for
I'm just
anything.
wait. No, what I mean is I have 2 consoles already. I don't
You have
need
2
3.
inferior consoles.
2 inferior, huh?
Yeah, look at the sales numbers. Inferior.
Yeah,
Sailor
Switch
Poland-
had more console sales than PS4 last month.
But overall, let's look at it. How much is the
PS4 has like a
outside
3-year
Xbox?
lead on selling
2 to
consoles.
2 to 1. I'm talking about Xbox. That's 2 to 1.
Okay.
Sailor Poland says buy PS4 for Sonic Mania. To be fair, Sonic Mania is on all platforms.
Yeah.
I have it for the PS4.
I will be picking
And
up
to be
for the
fair,
Switch
Sonic
probably.
games are not that good.
Sonic Mania is the fucking shit, and I will punch you in the mouth if you think you're wrong. Or if I-
So you heard it this episode all here. She's gonna put crumbs in my bed. She's gonna steal my shit, and she's also gonna punch me in the goddamn face.
Hey, Naki, I want the Kilowog poster.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least she's not gonna
I
kick
haven't
you.
had those up yet.
At least she's not gonna kick you in the dick. You got that?
And it's
going
gonna
for you.
take me, and
We
I have to
still got
like,
some episode left. She might
Yeah,
proclaim
you don't
that
know.
too.
You don't know?
I still have to stand on like boxes to get your mouth. So to be fair, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be a problem because
How high can you kick, Naki?
You grabbed my leg the last time, and I think I almost fell on my face when I tried to kick you.
Oh,
Yeah, so my reflexes are actually pretty good. So I've had a lot of people try and hit me in the dick, and it has gone badly for them.
That's why I
Like,
said
they
I'm gonna
tried,
punch you in the mouth.
yeah. So they tried to knee me, and I see that coming, and I move my knee in their way, and their knee impacts mine, and they get hurt like hell. And I'm like, that did nothing to me.
Well, see, I'd have to do like a wrestling type move, like get on the top of the ring, the ring, and jump
The
down.
ropes,
Yeah,
the corner.
yeah.
oh, she's gonna drop an elbow on you.
because that's like the only way I'm gonna be able to.
Well, here's something I did just yesterday. I rewatched Ready to Rumble. Are you gonna crown me?
Yes, and that movie was hilarious.
Thank you. That movie is hilarious.
It was so stupid, but it was really
No,
funny.
What's hilarious is that at one point in time, David Arquette was the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yes, that was also pretty hilarious.
Insane.
For WCW, let's specify for WCW.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest.
The World Heavyweight was their belt.
WCW at that time was a trash dump, basically.
They were all on coke. They were insane.
I just remember the best lines from that movie was, would that be raw sewage I'm smelling? Yeah, I've always kind of liked that smell. Yeah, me too. It kind of smells like French toast. And the other guy was like, yeah, French toast dipped in shit.
But to fight with Willie, Sonic Mania is fucking amazing. It's the
I have
best.
not
It's
played it,
the
so I
Sonic
cannot-
game.
I cannot
To come
specify that one in particular. I just know Sonic games, even back on the Genesis, they were just not that good of games.
Any 3D Sonic game outside of Colors, I think, is absolutely terrible.
I'm talking
But-
about the original.
No,
The
the original game
Genesis.
was so much fun.
So Sailor Paul in the chat room said Mania is the only Sonic game that matters. He would say it's even better than the originals.
It's really fun.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun. It gave me the nostalgia feel of playing the originals, like being in my basement with my brother and my sister, and like the three of us going back and forth on the Sonic games. Like that's the feeling you get.
So honestly, part of the reason I want to get it on the Switch is to relive playing it on the Game Gear, because that's where I first really played Sonic, was on my Game Gear. So there's that whole nostalgia there of I can pick up the Switch and hold it in my hands. It's just like playing on the Game Gear again almost.
Yeah.
Oh, the Game Gear. I had one of those. And oh, it was so much fun. Six AA batteries though.
For what, 2 hours of battery life on that thing? I can't remember.
Probably.
Yeah.
But hey,
And
it was
the Game Gear was
accurate and in
huge.
color.
Like you could beat someone to death with a Game Gear. Like those things were giant.
I might still have it somewhere.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, it's about the same width. It's just deeper than a Switch, basically. Other than that, they're close to the same size, I bet.
Oh,
It's very
dang.
much thicker.
Clarence VG Rex says, I played the shit out of Sonic Spinball and I will fight you if you say it's not the best game.
Are we going to have a
Oh,
Sonic
that
fight
was
in
the
chat room?
worst. I had that. The fucking pinball Sonic game. That was the worst. I remember I got that. I was so disappointed. I was like, this is the game I chose.
I never played. I don't
Oh,
think I played
God.
Spinball.
We're gonna have some fights over Sonic
Yeah,
here.
we're going to let those guys fight in the chat room while we move on, and we'll say, Naki, what have you been getting into?
I've been sick. So yesterday I watched, and the game theorists do this to me, where they'll talk about a game in one of their theories, and then I have to watch everything on this game because it's not a game I'll ever fucking play, but it's a game I want to know what the hell they're talking about. And so I watched this theory on the if you use chicken nuggets as padding, what chicken nugget would be the best one to use, and would you actually break your fall from a 5-story feat?
What?
In case you're wondering, the compressibility of chicken nuggets is actually not that good, and you probably would die no matter what the chicken nuggets were if you were to fall like from 5 stories onto a pile of chicken nuggets. You would probably die.
Okay,
But-
so what game is this?
So the
What-
game that they were doing this from
Yeah.
is a game called Kindergarten. And this game is fucked up. But I watched like 8 hours of them playing it yesterday. And it's literally a game where you are a new kid in school and you have to solve all these puzzles to find out why little Billy is missing and what happened to him. But throughout the game, like you're playing the same, it's kind of like Groundhog Day style where you play the same day over and over again. And you keep getting murdered, or you murder other children, or it's such a weird fucking game. But there's this one character named Nugget where he gives you the chicken nugget of friendship, and like you have to complete his quest of finding all the 5 chicken nuggets of friendship. And then you have to find the 25 monster baby cards or monster mum cards, and then you release Cthulhu onto the world, and then it's like I watched this thing for like 8 hours. It was mindless, and I didn't want to watch anything too serious, and I had been watching the shit out of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I was like, I gotta take a break from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And so I watched this game, and I'm intrigued. I will never play it because I watched the whole thing, and I don't need to play it. But the game theorists do this to me, where they do a theory on a game I'm never gonna fucking play, but then I gotta find out what it is. They did this to me with Hello Neighbor, which isn't even out in full beta yet, or full game yet. I think it's in alpha.
Greenlight.
Maybe it's still in beta.
Greenlit or whatever it's called in Steam.
Yeah.
I got a few things already. First of all, you don't become friends with someone named Nugget.
Nugget doesn't have any friends. Nugget's friend was Billy, and Billy is gone.
And 2, if you have to find 5 nuggets of friendship, that's not worth it to become friends with a man named Nugget.
It's a little kid. He's a kindergartner. You're all
I'm sorry.
5-year-olds.
Oh, so now little 5-year-olds are not men, as in Lord of the Flies. They're now boys. I got you. Changing up everything now.
Whatever, but I mean, like, there's one point where you're a boyfriend to a girl named Cindy, and
In kindergarten?
Yes, in kindergarten. You didn't have little boyfriend girlfriends in kindergarten?
Look, I was an ugly fucking kid. Let's not get that wrong.
Was?
Just like I'm an ugly fucking man.
There you go.
But okay, so anyways, you're boyfriend to this girl named Cindy, and you're playing house with her, and you come home to her, and she accuses you of being drunk, and if you don't buy her a purse, she stabs you in the eye.
What the? And these are kindergartners?
So pretty much, yeah. So yeah, it's like any marriage already.
Some crazy ass.
Hey, they get the shit right. I mean,
there's another storyline.
Yes,
There's another storyline with her where she gets pregnant by somebody else, and you have to choose if you're going to abort the baby or if you're going to keep the baby. They're playing house still, so it's fake. But
I mean, that's what you want to say.
It's a really fucked up game, but goddamn if I watched all of it. So it's the compressibility of chicken nuggets as to why I started watching this in the first place on the Game Theorist channel. If you guys don't know this already, I'm a YouTube addict and I tend to watch all this shit. But Game Theory, Film Theory had an interesting one about Wonder Woman this week, about how that movie never should have taken place in the first place. I recommend checking them out. They're super fun times, and I enjoy shows like that. So that's what I have for this week.
So mine's pretty quick because we're running short on time. I have been continuing my catch up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I am almost through the first third of the last season that aired, so I will get there eventually. Maybe we'll see.
How you liking Ghost Rider?
I'm on Ghost Rider right now, yeah.
Oh, how do you like Ghost Rider?
Oh, how do I like it? I think it's pretty cool. I've read the comic, so this is a pretty good representation of the comic version of the current Ghost Rider, which I've really enjoyed. As for what I've been playing video game-wise, I started playing the Mega Man Legacy Pack I bought for like $6 on Amazon for my Xbox. So I've been playing some old school Mega Man games. And also I've been playing Madden 18 because the franchise mode now lets you take over and start as a specific player from a rookie and work their way up into starting and things like that. And it's kind of fun to build your own quarterback and just drop them in and start playing in the middle of a season. So it's pretty cool. They just also patched Madden 18 for HDR graphics for the Xbox One S right now. So it upscales to 4K and plays in HDR and will eventually be full 4K whenever I get my new Xbox. So it'll look pretty at least.
It's fucking Madden. Who cares?
I kind of care a little bit. I buy a Madden game every 2 years or so. That's how I look at it. I have fun with it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm not one of those ones that buys it every year because why?
Yeah, it never made any sense to me. The people that have to buy the new one every year.
But that's just me. Other than that, I've been working on stuff for work, and then another project I've got waiting to actually come to fruition. But that's about it right now. Bachman, why don't you wrap it up for us? What have you been getting into?
See, I got like 9 sketch covers sketched fully or almost fully this week, and I've been inking those. I finished all the color Copics on one Mr. Chris Farrell's Emperor sketch cover, so that will be going out in the mail this week. I think I sent out 4 or 5 on Saturday morning. They dropped the new Walking Dead season 7 on Netflix, so I rewatched that first episode, which AMC had that for free when it first aired on their website. So I'd seen the death of the 2 by Negan, and now getting to watch like the torture of Daryl and stuff. Really fucking crazy show, and I so love being able to watch that show just episode after episode after episode, not having to wait. But yeah, I'm 6 episodes into the new Netflix season already, and damn, that show's still fun. It's crazy, but it's fun. And then finishing more of the Kickstarters. The goal is to try to get all of them in the mail and done by the end of the month, so that hopefully I can go into Inktober without having any worries. I have my Inktober theme picked. I won the first week of the Fantasy Movie League for our new season, and I'm tied in second right now for week 2, so that's looking good. Because last season I sucked, so hopefully I'll do better this season. And then last weekend I had hoped that since I didn't go out Force Friday and I didn't go out Saturday, going out Sunday after the podcast, I might save a little money by not being able to find maybe all the pops that I would have wanted. I'm pretty sure I was wrong, because I went to the local Target and I found Snope, and I found in his Gold LeMay Pimp Road. And I found the First Order Executioner with his laser axe, which is just fucking cool. And then
it's not as good as the Traitor from episode 7.
Yeah, I have him over there.
You've got a lot over there.
I do. And then I got we moved the scar to make it look like Anakin Kylo Ren, which I still don't like the idea that they moved the scar from the last movie, which is just a weird thing to do. But it's a cool looking pop.
Don't worry, they'll digitally remaster episode 7 to put it in the right place.
I hope they digitally remaster, put it on the other side of his head. That'd be funny. Oh no, it was a mirror image in that scene. We forgot. We flipped the film. And then the new Imperial droid, BB9. So yeah, I found all of those last week. So I was like, okay, I got my Force Friday pops, even though I got them on Sunday. And there was only really one that I wanted, and it wasn't there. So I was like, oh well, I missed out on one. Not a big deal. I went to get my comics on Friday. I took the day off to work on the sketch covers and just to not be at work on Friday for payday. And my comic book store had a thing where if you responded to their newsletter, they threw a variant cover into your box, or you got to pick one. And so I got the 1 in 25 variant cover for Nova 22, which is awesome because it's got a Deadpool flying behind Sam saying, "How the hell do you see in this thing?" And he's wearing a Nova helmet. So got that for free when I went to go pick up my books. And because I've cut back on so many Marvel books, I only had like $40 worth of comics to buy. So I give myself a $60 allowance. So I was able to pick up 2 pops while I was there. And they had the Praetorian Guard. So the one that I wanted with his giant red head and his big red suit. So I got the Force Friday pop that I wanted. I was able to get it at my local comic book store. And then they also had Hela, who has probably the coolest hat in the world. Like, it is just a wicked, wicked looking pop. She's got the glowing green eyes.
So that's actually a villain. You're allowed to have that one.
They're all villains. I'm allowed to have whatever I want. Yeah,
well,
so I've been doing
your self-imposed rule.
Yeah, and I gave up on it a while ago. You all just haven't caught on yet.
No,
buy
we
whatever
just like
I want.
to harass you about it.
I just prefer the villains. But yeah, the Hela one is awesome. Yeah, she's got the giant spiked head, and on the giant pop head just makes it look even crazier. But yeah, I've been doing that. And then, yeah, like I said, I was catching up on some podcasts. I finally got all caught up on Nerdist. So I started downloading some new shows. I started listening to Digital Soup. I started listening to another group of geeks out of Lexington, Kentucky called Geeks Boutique. And what was the other thing? And then I got a game that I wish I had the time to play, but Battle Chasers Night War, for those that back the Kickstarter, has been released. And so I got to actually play a little bit as Gully and Calabretto, and not the wizard yet. But yeah, it's the opening sequence is a cartoon of the Joe Mad fantastic comic book Battle Chasers. It's a above view RPG side fighting Final Fantasy type of game thing. It's really cool looking. It's something maybe after October I might have time to actually sit down and spend some real time on it. But man, it looks good. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So as we wrap things up, guys, I did just see Rick and Morty is back tonight, and all it said on Facebook is Atlantis, baby, 11:30 tonight. And I went, oh, Rick and Morty.
I'll be watching on YouTube.
Yeah, you can watch anything on YouTube. I was YouTube surfing last night, and they're like, Rick and Morty live stream, and I was like, this can't be real. And I was like, someone is literally just re-airing all the episodes of Rick and Morty on YouTube and not getting pulled down.
They've been doing that.
Yeah, but it's not Adult Swim doing it. That's why I'm like,
oh yeah, they've been doing it. A bunch of different people do that.
And if I play a clip from a song we don't own, we get yanked down. But people live stream Rick and Morty on YouTube. I don't get it.
Yeah, but it's Rick and Morty. It's way more powerful than we are.
Oh, well, evidently. So I guess that is going to wrap us up for this week. Don't forget, we stream live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over on Geeks.live, which is also syndicated to Twitch.tv, Mixer.com, YouTube, Periscope, and Stream Me, I think. So we're in like 5 different places, but the easiest thing to do, just go to Geeks.live. There's embeds there, and you're welcome to chat along with us today, anytime in the future, rather. So any final thoughts as we wrap things up, guys?
Don't fucking eat in your goddamn bed.
Fair.
I'm Pickle Rick!
I'm going to go crush some crackers into Willie's bed.
Are you in town then? You're not on camera, so you might be in town.
I might be right behind you right now.
I can look. I can see behind me. There's nothing behind me. What the fuck?
So before we do get out of here, though, to everyone who is in Florida right now, if you stayed home and you're watching this, stay safe, be careful. I do know we have some folks from the Gonna Geek Network that are down in the Florida area, so stay safe, guys. And if you need anything, let someone know up this way. We'll see what we can do. I don't know what we can do, but we'll try. So just stay safe, guys, and I guess we're going to wrap things up for this week. I don't have anything funny to say. I shouldn't.
Stay safe, friends.
Yeah, be safe, friends. I shouldn't have ended with sad stuff. Sorry.
Be safe. Hell no.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this brand new episode of the All Things Good and Nerdy podcast. Don't forget, we'll be back next Sunday live at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central over at live.atgnpodcast.com, channel 3 of the Alpha Geek radio app, and over at our network home at gonnageek.com/live. If you have any feedback for the show, please contact us atgnpodcast@gonnageek.com, on our hotline number at 304-806-ATGN, or even better, go to Twitter and send us a message at ATGN Podcast. The music you've heard in this show is produced by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com.